All right, we're going to start off with 5 or 10 minutes of foam rolling, also called mild fast release. So what this is going to help do is relax some of the muscles and also get rid of some of the knots, adhesions within the muscle. What we want to do is foam roll over the complete body here. We're going to start off and I'm just going to show you the calves. So you can put both feet over or just start in this area. You're going to roll slowly about 1 inch per second. If you find some knots, they might refer a little bit of pain, so some pain triggers in there. What you want to do is hold on those for about 20 to 30 seconds until those dissipate, and then continue rolling. We're going to do the complete posterior side all the way up the back, and then we will do the front anterior side all the way down too. So do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll get on to our dynamic warm-up. All right, we're going to do quadruped draw-ins. Quadruped, all that means is being on all fours. So in this position, we want to make sure that our hands are right underneath our shoulders. We're going to pull our toes in towards our shins. We're going to draw in the belly button to the spine, breathing in, holding that in. Make sure that you're breathing. We're going to hold that for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, release, then draw back in. So we're going to do about 10 reps of that, holding 2 to 3 seconds each time we draw that belly button into the spine, and we're going to practice our breathing at the same time. Okay, we're going to do a front plank here. What we're going to do is be on our forearms, okay? I kind of like to hold a fist here. I want my eyes looking right down at the fist. I want to have a straight line, neutral back all the way. I'm going to draw my belly button into my spine, contract my glutes and my thighs, and I'm going to practice breathing the whole time, okay? You can go to a modified if you need to on your knees if the full plank is a little difficult. And I want to do that for about 20 to 30 seconds just to strengthen up those deep core muscles. All right, we're going to do a side plank. This is going to help strengthen up our obliques and our deep core muscles again, our transverse abdominis, multifidi. So we want to come here, we want to make sure that our arm is in a 90. So a lot of times kind of people put their arms out here. It's going to put a lot of stress on this AC and the shoulder joint here. So right underneath here, you can put your feet on top of each other. Some people do tandem, which is just basically your feet in front, but I prefer kind of right here. Use your hand to base you up. You want to hold here. We're going to do that for about 15 to 20 seconds. Once again, drawing belly button to spine, contracting the lower body, and breathing, okay? You can go to a modified if you want to, with your knees bent here at a 90, rotating up on that knee, and holding the same thing if the regular side plank is a little difficult for you. Okay, we're going to do a bird dog. This is great for increasing mobility. You're going to be doing flexion extension of the lower body. It also works the deep core muscles, transverse abdominis, and your multifidi, which are great muscles for stability. So once again, quadruped position or all four position, hands right underneath your shoulders, feet pulled in towards your shin. Going to draw that belly button into your spine. I'm going to lift my right arm and full extension here or flexion here of the arm, and then my back leg at the same time. I can do the same side or I can alternate each one. I want to make sure that it's nice and straight. I'm trying to reach out to the wall on that side. I'm trying to reach that foot to the wall behind me on the other side. Once again, all while drawing in belly button to the spine and breathing throughout the exercise. Okay, we're going to do some supine bent knee marches. So supine just means on my back, supine on my spine. I'm going to lay back. I'm going to bring my knees up to a 90, my arms straight up. I'm going to lower one leg, touch, and right back up. All this is doing is help, once again, work my deep core muscles, also getting a little bit of mobility within my legs while I'm keeping my back nice and stable. Ready? Okay, we're going to do tall kneeling prisoner rotations. Okay, this is to help thoracic spine mobility and rotation and a transverse plane. So tall kneeling means we're going to be up on our knees just like this, keeping our core nice and tight, drawing in that belly button to spine. We're going to put our hands behind our heads like prisoner, and we're going to rotate all the way as far as we can to the center here. We're going to breathe out, hold for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, breathe back in, and rotate to the other side. This is side here. Same thing, pulling those toes in towards the shin, back nice and straight, rotate, and right back. We're going to do prone push-ups, sometimes called yoga push-ups depending on what you're eating that day. But we're going to come in here, okay, feet are going to be out, okay, we're going to bring our arms kind of next to our side. What I kind of think about is bringing my thumb so they kind of cups my chest. I want my elbows pointed back. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to push up. So a lot of times people push here where their hips come up and they fully extend their elbow. you don't need to do that. You kind of want to keep them right next to your side. You're just doing small movements here. Okay, as you come up, blow out, slowly hold here. Now, if this causes lots of pain in your lower back, do not do this exercise, but the idea is to get a little bit more mobility within my lower back and help nourish that spine a little bit. So we're gonna do some partial Supermans. We're gonna lay it here. We're gonna fly, just like that. So this is gonna get a little bit more mobility, extension and flexion and extensions in my upper and lower extremities. So what we're gonna do here is partial Superman. So we're going to lift the left and right, the left leg and the right arm up simultaneously while pushing my hand down to the ground and my toe down to the ground on this one, blowing out and alternating. It's really important to push these hands and the opposite feet down. That will help engage my core and keep me from over hyperextending. All right, we're gonna perform a goblet squat. So the goblet squat got its name from holding the weight just like this. Okay, we wanna keep those arms next to our side. We're gonna put our feet about hip to shoulder width apart, depending on kind of how it feels through your range of motion. Okay, you're going to push your hips back, set back, okay, driving through your heels, blowing out, squeezing your glutes at the very top range of motion, okay? Same here, we wanna make sure that our knees do not go past. This is actually a little bit more comfortable for most people than doing back squats. So same thing here, pushing your hips back, driving through your heels, squeezing glutes on the way up, blowing out, and then resetting. All right, we're gonna do some dumbbell deadlifts. You can also do this with a barbell, kettlebell, lots of different things. So we're gonna do the dumbbell deadlifts today. We're gonna hold this in both hands, okay? We are going to push our hips back, lower this down our shin, boom, okay? Right down to about right there, squeezing our glutes on the way back and coming in. So once again, just like the squat, making sure that we are hip hinging back. We also don't wanna look at the ground or look up. We wanna kind of tuck our chin. Let's look at it from the side, same here. Pushing our hips back, down, coming up hard, squeezing glutes, and bringing those dumbbells right next to the side. All right, we're gonna do alternating dumbbell forward lunges. So what we're gonna do is just a forward lunge. We wanna make sure that we get long enough stride. A lot of times people take too short of a stride here. So a nice long stride where our body's right in the middle. We're gonna come down here to our leg is at a 90. Driving back through all the way back to the starting position and then alternating and switching back to the opposite leg, okay? Going through, make sure that we're keeping our core, shoulders looking forward and back. Back nice and neutral, everything is in good form and technique. Okay, so for this exercise we're going to do some floor bridges. You can do these with a dumbbell, medicine ball, a sand bell, a barbell, however you want to do these. What we're going to do is dumbbell today, put this on our hips here. We want to have our feet and knees hip width apart, so all lined up together, ASIS, knee and second toe here if you want to get specific with it. All right, we're going to hold this right here. Laying back, we're going to push out through our knees. A lot of times people push out through their hips and get a lot of hyperextension, lower doses in here, and that really can hurt the lower back. So we want to draw in that belly button to the spine, keeping that core nice and tight, and then push out through our knees and really driving through the heels. Squeeze the booty as you're coming up. Let that glutes squeeze kind of stop you from being over to hyperextend. And right back down. Okay, concentrating on doing reps of those, about 8 reps. Okay, we're gonna do some dumbbell side lunges, all right? So this is a lateral movement. This helps work our AB and adductors, but basically inner and outer thigh, and a little bit of our glutes. So we're going to drive laterally to the right here, down, weight's gonna come in here. We wanna make sure that our knee is right over our toe. So a lot of times people get this, or they kind of get this here. So we wanna make sure definitely that our knee and our feet are lined up. We're gonna push here and kind of pushing our weight onto this foot and out that side. Still pushing our hips back like we would in a squat or the deadlift. Using that leg, drive yourself right back up to the position and then alternating back over here. This weight comes in the middle. Once again, putting weight on this stance leg, this foot can kind of come up a little bit, driving yourself right back up to the position. All right, we're gonna go into a cat camel. Here just to kind of work through some of those muscles and increase some nourishment to the back and a little bit of spine and hip mobility. So once again, in this quadruped position, we're gonna start on all fours here. Hands are gonna be right underneath the shoulders, toes pulled into the shin, drawing in that belly button to the spine. We're going to push through our full hand and round the back and draw in our hips towards our belly button. Okay, so this is the mad cat part here. And then we're going to push back out, interiorly rotating, causing a little bit of lordosis in our lower back, stretching out those abdominals, and holding here. Each one of these motions you want to hold for 2 or 3 seconds and make sure that you're breathing. So breathe out here. Breathe back in. And really getting full rotation. You should really feel those hips moving and your back really going from a curve to a little bit curve in your lower back to a curve in your upper back. All right, we're gonna do a child's pose. This is a great lower back erector spinae, those big muscles that are on either side of your spine. Also, we can get a nice little lat stretch here. So what we want to do here is we're going to put our hands down in front of us, okay, and we're going to act like they're glued on here, and we're trying to pull them off, but we can't. That's going to help actively stretch these lats and give a little bit of tension to stretch through our, those deep muscles that we're talking about on either side of the spine. So here we're going to lay back, pushing our hips. We also get a nice hip stretch through here as well, and a little bit of glutes, pushing all the way back. You want to make sure that you don't just drop your head, that it keeps in line with your arms and it's nice and neutral. Pulling back and actively holding this for 20 or 30 seconds. Ready? All right, we're going to do a supine 90-90 stretch. So what we're going to do is supine on our spine, then laying on our back. We're going to bring our legs up to a 90 degrees. Make sure this is at a 90. Okay. What we're going to do here is then hold these legs down and kind of pull towards you, keeping above here. I'm going to take this hand and I'm just going to pull, follow with my eyes all the way back, and blow out and breathe. Going to hold that for about 15 to 30 seconds. The idea behind that is to increase my mobility in my thoracic spine and getting a nice stretch through there. All right, so we're going to do a standing hamstring stretch. What you're going to do is just dorsiflex or bring that ankle towards you, okay? And you're just going to push your hips back. This is going to get hamstrings and calf, okay? So a lot of times people want to bend over. I don't want to put a lot of stress on your lower back, so especially if you have lower back problems, you're going to push your hamstring back. Okay, you can add a little bit of intensity if you want to by elevating and also doing the same thing. Instead of leaning forward towards our feet, we're actually just going to push our hips back, and we want to hold this stretch for 20 or 30 seconds, and you should feel a nice deep stretch through your hamstrings and calf muscles. Okay, so we're going to do the pillar stretch. This is going to help stretch out our lats and our abdominals, which is sometimes tight and wanting to pull us forward. It's also going to help stretch out our forearms and our triceps and biceps a little bit. So what we're going to do is interlock our hands. I always kind of call this the morning stretch when you first get up. And you're going to push straight up above. You want to actively stretch here. So I want to try to touch my palms to the ceiling and push as high as I can, kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together, and really think about elongating. You should be about 2 or 3 inches taller after you do this. I've been trying for a long time, but yeah, so you want to keep actively stretching and just pull and kind of feel that. Shut your eyes, go somewhere else, and breathe the whole time. So we're going to do an open arm chest stretch. So a lot of times the people that kind of have forward shoulders, this is a great stretch, but just after doing some of the exercises, it's good to kind of help stretch out these muscles as well. So all we're going to do is here, like we're clapping, we're just going to give Andrea a big hug. She's filming, but we're going to give a big hug here. Open our arms nice and wide for the world's largest hug. And we're just going to constantly pull back. Once that will also strengthen up those back muscles, but it's going to help stretch out that chest. And we just want to hold 20 or 30 seconds and get a nice stretch through here. You can do this 1 or 2 times if you need to, and that will get a nice stretch through that whole thing and through a little bit through your bicep as well.